Okay, before I begin, I need to talk about that preview for next episode. I know, I should probably talk about the events of the latest episode first, but that preview, if you haven't watched it, I recommend you to go and watch it if you skipped it or whatever. It's at the end of the latest episode. Recommend you to go watch it, because I don't want to spoil you if you didn't see it. Was that... Oh, what am I saying? That was Super Saiyan God in the preview for the next episode. Okay, so, first things first, yes, I am aware that in the manga, Goku did use Super Saiyan God, and so did Vegeta. And apparently, in the manga, it's a weaker form to Super Saiyan God, like compared to Blue. For instance, Blue is stronger, Super Saiyan God is apparently weaker. That is what's been established in the manga. Now, just because that's been established, I'm curious if those rules are going to be applied to this form. Very curious. However, judging by how the preview is orientated, like the way it was, it made me assume that Super Saiyan God, Goku's form he's using, like the first Super Saiyan God we saw, that seems to be a lot stronger than Blue for him to be using it. Now, I could be wrong, because it could be following the logic from the manga, but the way that was showcased in the preview, I'm like, okay, we just gotta see how this works. We gotta definitely see how Super Saiyan God works in the anime, because we know that there's some very distinct differences to the manga and the anime of Dragon Ball Super. There's been some massive differences, so we'll have to see where it goes. However, that preview, pretty hyped, and also, apparently Hit and Goku is going to be working together, so the dream team that we've all been wanting to see, seeing Hit and Goku working together to fight off people, that's going to be very entertaining. I'm actually looking forward to that. Anyways, though, let's talk about the latest episode. So, the latest episode, it focuses on Gohan, focuses on Android 17, and a little bit on Goku. And, I mean, 17's fight, it was concluded at the beginning of the episode, so was Goku's, and then we shifted over into Gohan and Piccolo and what they were doing. So, before I get into Gohan, before I get into Piccolo, let's talk about, 17 and Goku. So, 17's fight, overall, it ended way easier than I thought it would. I thought, honestly, the fight was going to last a little bit longer, and 17 was going to struggle, maybe even get knocked out. I legit thought 17 was probably going to get knocked out, but he didn't. He actually won in the end, and he actually didn't knock out the person he was fighting, but still, he didn't really have too much trouble at all. Goku was struggling a little bit, but overall, though, he was actually learning the fighting moves of the person he was fighting, trying to figure out the strategy in their combat, so I did appreciate that. I did like how Goku was analyzing his opponent, even though many were saying he was letting down his guard. He clearly was analyzing his opponent, figuring out their type of strategy and how they fight, before he can, counter it completely. That's what he was doing at the beginning of the episode, so I do appreciate that. I do appreciate seeing Goku actually using his brain in fighting. 17, he showcased that he had a barrier. This barrier is very powerful. I really love that, by the way. I really love the android barrier. It's something I love in the games. I just love seeing that from 17, how he's demonstrated that constantly in the Tournament of Power. So I love that, how he just jumps in, he takes the blast, he covers Goku. Just really badass. Love that. I know it's very simple, and it's not a really anything amazing or like, holy shit, that's badass. I just love the effect. I always loved that move in Dragon Ball games. Seeing that, love it. So, getting off of that, because that's a pretty much, like, easy point of discussion for this episode, let's talk about Gohan, because that's the stuff I really want to get into. Gohan is a character, as we all know, has been in the spotlight, out of the spotlight, in the spotlight, out of the spotlight. He's been a character that's always went back and forth throughout Dragon Ball Z, and even in Super. He's always went up and down. And with the latest Tournament of Power arc, many of us have been saying, like, this is finally time for Goku to step up and actually be a fighter, be someone very strong. Now, a long time ago, I was actually fine. I was willing to finally let it go and just let Gohan be who he wants to be. Be a father, be a husband, and be, someone that is a lot different from Goku. He didn't follow the fighter's path. I was willing to accept that. However, with the Tournament of Power, it is emphasized that Gohan is trying to get back in touch with his fighting side, and now he has gained back some of his lost power. He is now Ultimate Gohan. He has hidden potential. So because of that, Gohan is now tapped into his old strength. And so it made many of us Gohan fans very excited, because a lot of us really loved Gohan. His last badass moment he really had was when he stood up to Super Buu and was like, I want to kill you. That was a great fucking moment. It was badass as fuck, and I still go back every so often to watch that part of the series because that's just how much I loved it. Just Gohan stepping up and being a fucking badass. And since this arc began, it's been hyping up Gohan. He's even in the ending song showcased at the final part of the ending song with some epic scenes. I mean, he's with his father, so there's a lot of, like, hints that Gohan's going to be very important to this arc. And so seeing this man having an episode kind of focused on him, it's very exciting. As a Gohan fan, it's very exciting to see. So this overall fight, honestly, was one of my personal favorites so far from the Tournament of Power. And the reason for it was because this character that Gohan was fighting from Universe 10, he had a lot of characterization. He didn't feel flat. He didn't feel like someone that was just there to be there. He had something he was fighting for. And I feel like at the end of the day, if this wasn't the Tournament of Power, Gohan and this dude most likely could have been great friends. They could have gotten to know each other, and they could have probably sat down and ate together, drunk some tea, whatever they want to drink. I feel like that's the type of relationship they could possibly have. However, the Tournament of Power, it's a very grim tournament. I mean, there's a lot of episodes that make you think that this isn't really that serious. I mean, last week's episode is a good example. However, a lot of people's lives are on the line, at stake right now. And anyone that fucks up, if like a universe gets eliminated, they're gone. Everybody they love is gone. Even if they don't have anyone they love, just the entire universe is gone. And so it's really dark and fucked. And when Gohan was fighting this dude, he showcased that he was a great person. He was a good fighter. He took pride in Gohan fighting him. And when he lost, you see this portrait of his family, his daughter or son, I don't really know, and also his wife. And what this shows is that he had someone he wanted to protect. Very similar to how Gohan is. And Gohan, he's a family man. He is someone that has a family. He has a daughter. He has a wife. And Gohan's already showed that he definitely cares for his family quite a bit. He's went so far for them. And because of that, he definitely can relate with the dude that lost and disappeared. Because Gohan would have been in that man's position if he would have lost. He would have lost his family. And that's why Gohan was very upset in that moment, because he realizes that there's more at stake than just them winning or losing this tournament. Everybody's life is on the line, and Gohan realized what he did, he basically killed that man's family. That's probably how Gohan feels about that. So that added some weight to this, and Gohan is definitely going to probably view this tournament a little bit differently thanks to what he witnessed in this episode. Now, besides that, let's go over to Piccolo. So Piccolo's fight overall was very simple. He destroyed the man with Hell's Own grenade. Love that move, by the way. Love it in, Xenoverse. So just seeing Piccolo use that move once again, beating the shit out of this dude, I mean, it's to be expected. So not really much to talk about besides, saying Piccolo just kicked ass. So anyways, moving back over into Gohan, though, I do like how Gohan beat his opponent with relative ease from what I can see. He did struggle a little bit because the dude had a different type of ki, so that was interesting to see how the man was using these feints to actually trick Gohan, which cost him in the end, but still, that was a really interesting thing. I wonder if Gohan's going to learn that and use that to his advantage in the future to probably fight someone, because from what we're seeing here, you notice the recent opponents Gohan has fought, they all have different type of ki. For instance, the people like the Danger Tree or whatever, Danger Bros, I forget their exact title, but basically, remember, they had their own different type of ki. Nobody could sense them. And you notice Gohan's been fighting opponents with different type of ki. I wonder if that's, in a way, Toei Animation letting us know that Gohan's going to unlock something completely different, go his own path separate from Super Saiyan, and become something much greater, or something way different than anyone ever expected. He won't be using Super Saiyan, he won't be using God Ki, or, Super Saiyan God Ki. He'll be going his own path with God Ki or something. Maybe that's what's being implied here, because of every time he's fought someone recently, they have something different with their ki. So, anyways, besides that, I feel like the episode also showcased that not all the angels appear to be evil. I mean, apparently the angel from Universe 10, she did care. She definitely cared about, you know, her universe getting erased, or at the very least, she cared about her god of destruction. She cared about her Supreme Kai. You can see that. And so, it seems like not all the angels, even if some are evil, it doesn't seem like all of them are evil or on board. It does seem like she deeply did care, and she was upset. A very different contrast compared to the first universe that was erased when we saw the dude being very crusty and smiling. So this does show that there is some angels that do deeply care about their universe. They're like, not fuck you and all that and just running off. They actually do care. So I like that. I do like that. So it adds a little bit more of a potential, I guess, Fury discussion, what could really be going on. But besides that, though, that's basically the episode. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I love you all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.